Good morning, welcome back. Today I'm going to make a apple cider. Apple juice with apple cider spices in it. So I haven't been following this recipe exactly because it said 10 large apples chopped. What does 10 large apples mean? What's a large apple? Well, I've checked online and it said 2 large apples normally works out to be a pound, so that means 5 pounds of chopped apples. Maybe a little less really, because when you chop them then you leave out the core, right? When I collected the apples there in the fall, I just cut off the bad parts on the apple and I put them in bags and froze them whole like this. Now, I'm going to switch this over. 4 pounds, 15 ounces, so that's pretty close to 5 pounds. Or in grams, I got 2.24 kilograms. Now the advantage with freezing them all, since I was thinking about making apple juice out of them anyway, I just froze them whole. I can dump them in there. And turn this bag inside out, let that dry off, and I can reuse this bag. So since we've got exactly the number of the weight that this recipe calls for, then we'll go by the recipe. I don't have orange. I'm going to leave it out because it's just part of the taste. But oh dear, I don't have 4 cinnamon sticks. So what will I do about that? I have a really fine strainer that I'm going to use. So I got the 1 cinnamon stick and I'm going to put in 3 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. I don't know what the conversion is, but I think my strainer will strain out the cinnamon bits that will be left in here. A teaspoon of cloves. It doesn't say all cloves. Half a teaspoon, so I'll put in 2 of these. So what I'm doing here is making hot apple cider. A teaspoon of allspice. A teaspoon of nutmeg. Now, as far as the half a cup of packed brown sugar goes, you can sweeten it up more afterwards, and it depends on the kind of apple you're using how sweet this will be. So I don't put the sugar in first. If it's not sweet enough after the fact, then I will add sugar. It says cover by at least 2 inches of water. The only thing about this covering with 2 inches of water is that the apples float. That's what I've been doing for the last few times that I did this. I put in 6 liters of water and went pretty much by that recipe. So we turn on the burner, not on high, because then once this starts to boil, it'll be getting into a really fast boil and then bubble all up and could boil over, right? Put a cover on, and wait for it to boil. Apple cider, a lot of people, and it's been tradition to make it, you grind up the apples and you press it out, right, with a cider press. The trouble I was having was that the biggest problem was that fruit flies, they lay their eggs on fruit. You can freeze your fruit, it doesn't kill the egg. Thaw them out, you got fruit flies going everywhere. The other issue was that it takes a lot of time on the person's part to grind up the apples and then stand there and press out. Of course, if you had an electronic press, then maybe it would be shorter, but for most homeowners, they'd have a manual press, and it takes a lot of person labor. This way, I put this in there frozen. Any fruit fly eggs on it will be killed and cooked. It'll be very easy. I just use the immersion blender to blend it up, let it cool down, and strain it afterwards. Just 5-10 minutes work on my part, and then natural physics does the rest. I don't know how long this has been boiling, but I don't think it was boiling when I went outside the door to record a walkabout half an hour ago. Those apples are gone pretty soft. I'm going to give this a good stir around. Yeah, they're all soft enough. So what I'm going to do is take the immersion blender do that. I'm going to turn this right down on low, and I'm going to let that simmer for another couple hours. This now has been simmering for a couple of hours, so I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to let it cool down. I'm going to let it cool down for two reasons. The biggest reason is because I used to strain it in this. I just used this now, and it's dirty, needs to be cleaned, but that's not the reason. So this is your regular kitchen strainer that you will get, and it's stainless steel. I found that I could get a stainless steel mesh online, and now the holes in this one is 1/10 the size of the holes in the regular strainer, kitchen strainer. And I've, with the hot glue gun, put it in the bottom here. This is just your regular plastic mixing bowl that I cut the bottom out of. I am not going to put boiling hot cider in a plastic mixing bowl. Biggest reason. The other reason, you'll see later, there is an advantage to letting this cool down before you go to strain it. Now, I don't know if you can tell on the screen, but it is clear on top, and where I had to put a ground cinnamon in it, it's darker than what I was doing before. But the larger pieces, most of the apple has settled down, which means now I can strain it in there better. You see, before I had to slowly strain it off, but now I'll take the pot and I'll slowly pour it out, and most of the liquid will be gone down through before the solids get down there to sort of plug it up. Now this is the first time I've done this with this screen, So we'll see. I'm thinking I'll probably get it perfectly clear since it's a much finer screen. You see, even with the fine material, it's starting to plug up in the screen. Now the water will slowly drip down through the juice portion. See, that was the other reason I made this bowl. With the other strainer, I would have to do that in 2 batches. But now I was able to put the entire thing in. Will this cover that well? So yeah, I was able to put the entire thing in, and I'll leave that cover on there. And I'll just leave that there now and let it drip down through for however long, and at some point I'll come back and start with the putting a weight on there to press more juice out. Now I'm going to lift this out, put it right there for now. So you can see how nice that looks. I have a plastic bag put on top of this bottle with a plastic band because I don't know where the cover for it is. That's full, and I still have some more left. I'm going to put this in the fridge now. I do have this bottle that I just washed yesterday. I think it might fit in there. So that's more than a gallon. Now, you can see it has all settled down. Most of the liquid is drained down out of it. And I found I can put one of my dinner plates on top of this. So this container is clean on the outside. What I'm putting it there for is that if you're putting weight on top, you got to be careful that no dirt can get down on your plate and possibly then into your juice afterwards, right? So I'll set that like that, and I'll take this towel and put over it this time because of course I can't put the cover on it. And it's late now, so I'll come back in the morning and we'll see how much extra liquid we got out of this by just putting this little bit of weight on top. That paint can is maybe 2/3 full, so it's a little bit of weight, and I don't know, in the future I'll check and see if I can put more weight on that. But yeah, in the morning we'll see how much extra liquid we got for just that little bit of weight. So with that extra bit of weight sitting on there all night, let's see what we got. See, that was exactly why I didn't want to put anything with dirt on the outside on top of that plate, even though initially it was above the shadow. See how we got water on top there now. I'll lift that out of it. And we got more below. Let's see if I can just pour that little bit. There's not much in it. Out like so. Move that over there. I was using this, made some marks on it. You see that black line there? So that's another 2 cups, over 2 cups. From that little bit of weight. I think I want to put some even more weight on that. Let's prize it out. Let's see what we got here. So that's fairly dry, actually. But like I said, I think I'm going to see if I can squeeze even more. But that's probably all I'll show on this video. So I got well over a gallon of apple cider from 5 pounds of apples. That is very delicious. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.